I currently work at the Ministry of Health as a policy writer.
I work as a senior test engineer for a company in Changi Business Park.
I'm currently an army officer working at the Ministry of Defence.
How long have I been volunteering? Let's see.
I've been volunteering quite a bit, starting from when I was a lot younger.
In Singapore, I've been volunteering for the last 5 years now.
How long have I been volunteering? Let's see. Okay, I think this would date back to my time in university. So I studied at NUS back in year 2. One of my friends, she dragged me along for one of their sessions. So it was a session with kids. So basically it was in a clinic and you had kids coming in and out because their parents would bring them for checkups. And what the volunteers would do was to keep the kids entertained. There was actually a kids' room, so we would read to them and we would entertain them that way. After this experience, I kind of realized that it's actually quite fun. It's quite rewarding lah. When you talk to them and you see the smiles on their faces. I think that was what struck me the most. And then I got quite serious into this, and I went for more sessions. And eventually, the sessions progressed to volunteering in the wards. So week after week, we would go there and see them and talk to them. And I think that was what really tugged at my heartstrings lah.
Volunteering to me, I guess it's a way of life now. I think in one sentence I would say bringing love to someone else in any way, any kind of way.
Some people take it positively, some people they don't take it so positively. So it's about how you want to do it selflessly.
For me personally, I think it's a calling. I think it's just a simple sacrifice of your time to do something that you would not normally go and do. Doing something that is not a job. It's not something that you're duty bound to do. It's something that you go out of the way to do. I think that's what volunteering means to me as an individual. I continue to volunteer because I think it adds a lot of fullness to my life. Your typical working adult will go to work 9 to 5. On the weekends, you just probably want to laze at home and not do anything much. And so I didn't want my life to be something like that. Just work and sleep and work and sleep.
And we were just wondering how else can we maybe practically apply ourselves and just do something instead of something a bit more meaningful than needing to catch up.
The whole One Youth idea was started by a fellow member, Ryan. He suddenly had this idea. He was like, after his whole NS thing, he had this idea, why don't we join in together?
So we all kind of met and we kind of realized that, hey, let's get together and we can all go for each other's thing, because at the end of the day, we all just want to do something. It doesn't matter what we're doing, as long as we're serving and bringing love. So the first, very early on, we got in touch with this home called Swami Home, Sunshine Welfare Action Mission Home. It's somewhere in Sembawang. And we approached the home and we just asked them, is there any way we can help? So it turns out they have this program where there's some of these elderly members in the vicinity who are either abandoned or they live alone and they can't really provide for themselves in terms of, I think, meals all the time. What they do is they have a kitchen at home and the kitchen cooks ready warm meals, and then these drivers go and deliver these meals throughout the week. So on Saturdays and Sundays, that's where the home tries to get volunteers in, so when the drivers are taking their off day. And so we just said, yeah, we can do that, because it was quite straightforward. At the very start, it was just going there, knocking on the door and handing the uncle or auntie that we see the meal that was prepared for them.
That's why I think maybe he can sing so much, but ask him to try.
But then increasingly, we also realized that time was quite tight. So we'd love to stop and chat with them because they seemed like they really wanted to just have a conversation with us. But because one of the imperatives, you realize that those at the end of your drive would have been waiting for maybe close to 3 to 4 hours just for their meal. So it was quite tricky initially because we wanted to spend more time with them, but there weren't enough of us. So just a group of maybe 7 to 10 of us got together and did this. So that's where we started to ask friends and family.
不辛苦不辛苦。
The Gardens by the Bay event was very eye-opening. My first time bringing elderly out. Typically we see them in homes, but this was something very unique to me, and it was eye-opening. So what really struck me was that they were so happy. This was feedback given from these folks when we visited them at their homes during Meals with Love. They didn't want to be confined to the 4 walls at home. They wanted to see major attractions in Singapore, interesting places in Singapore, and these are things that they typically see in magazines, on the news, on TV, but there's nobody to bring them. So this was a really good opportunity for them, and we figured, it was very refreshing for them. I think it was very refreshing for volunteers as well, because this was something different. Bringing old folks out, interacting with them on the go in a public place. Typically, for Meals with Love, we don't spend that long with them because we have multiple houses to go to. So this was something, you're seeing them outside. It was a very casual interaction. We got to know them better. We got to know what they like, what they dislike. And it felt like, you're bringing a friend out.
These things are very small stuff, but which happens over the weekend, and like it was one Sunday that we spent. But those memories are like ever imbibed in me. Those are the most cherishing memories that I will ever have. To put the whole experience of volunteering in one word is just love.
If there was one word to describe my volunteering experience, I think I'd have to pick the word fulfilling. I think because such experiences are priceless. Yeah, it's something that if you don't put yourself out there, you probably would not experience it.
I don't think I can say what I like for the future generation, because we are the future right now, supposedly. But I think what I like is for different generations to understand that we are always junior to a generation before us, and we're also always senior to a generation after us. So increasingly, I think we're realizing that we are part of a very big ecosystem. Yeah, and with the migrant workers and the foreign workers who come here, most of them leave their families wherever. They come and ply their trade here to make our country a better place. That also reminds us that we are also global citizens.
So what I hope to see in future is more people coming forward to volunteer. It doesn't matter how old you are. There are volunteers who are 60-odd years old, but they're still volunteering. There are volunteers as young as primary 6, and they're really starting to volunteer. So what I hope to see is more volunteers coming forward.
And encourage everyone to do something for the other in a very positive way. In a very positive way, help whenever you can. Volunteer whenever you can.